welcome one and all to my latest review. Thank you so much for joining me and thank you for your patience. I apologize for not being there as quickly as possible. A few things with my personal life have been kind of crazy, and also I was getting my wisdom teeth taken out in the process. But now that that's taken care of, let's start the review, and I hope that this game was well worth the wait.
I think this one should be. This is a pretty nostalgic game for me and one of my personal favorite games of all time. It's also my favorite Bomberman game in the entire series. No, silly. Not Bomberman 64, Bomberman Hero. I love this game. And I've loved this game ever since I was a child. And honestly, I was searching for the fabled Majora's Mask at the time I found this. And Majora's Mask was so hard to find that I had to have a backup plan. And man, this game became one of the best N64 games I've ever played. Excellent graphics, really good music, and something out of this universe as far as the story goes.
Okay, it's mainly a Star Wars ripoff, but I honestly like this story. I don't care what anybody says.
But we will get into that later. Anyway, is Bomberman Hero a totally awesome game, or is it really just a generic piece of N64 software? Let's find out on my review of Bomberman Hero. The history for Bomberman Hero is not apparent. It seems that they wanted to make Bomberman jump into the platforming elements, so they made a game based around a platformer. The game came out in 1998 under Hudson Soft under the name Bomberman Hero. The gameplay for Bomberman Hero starts when you first boot the game. You get this cool intro cutscene, which I thought was amazing as a kid, and now it's just an afterthought of sorts. Oh well, you gotta admit though, the snowboarding sections really do make Bomberman look really BA, except when he almost hits a tree. He kinda looks wussy there. Anyway, after hitting start, feel free to select one of the files. We have yet again another cutscene and then the game officially begins. Your object is pretty simple. You need to reach the end of the level and get to each level's goal. Then you'll advance to the next level, just like other platforming games. And just like other platforming games like Mario and Banjo, this will help you to progress to other worlds. But this game has a bit of a twist involved with the game. You don't pick up stars or jiggies like Banjo-Kazooie or Mario 64. Instead, you get a score. Now, you don't need to get the score to get to the next level, but in order to get the best ending of the game, you'll need to score 5 on every level. This will grant you the real final boss and the best ending in the game. But my issue is that you have to gather basically every collectible in the game. Sure, there are some levels where you don't need the entire score to actually fit in order to go to the next level with a 5, but the majority of them, you're picking up every item in the level. It's really kind of stupid, and one of the biggest things that makes this game not that good in my opinion. It's not really worth 100%ing because you're basically going after everything when you shouldn't have to. The power-ups in this game I really love. They keep classic Bomberman feel with old school games, but also keeping it fresh. You can have remote mines, and also far throw, and also shield that allows Bomberman to not take any damage from his own bombs. Although for most of these levels, I don't feel like it works. Like, literally ever. It's kind of annoying to be honest. And some of the items like this can feel super situational as you use it in one level and it may come back in another level, but this will not cause a different change. You basically use the item the same way again. But to be honest, the gameplay is more than just the power-ups, and what makes the gameplay good is the platforming itself. Nothing in my eyes is more satisfying in the N64 era than to jump and to throw bombs at enemies, and also kill certain bosses. The control in this game is super tight and smooth, which really helps us out a lot. You could be coming onto an oncoming enemy who has no idea you're there, and you just throw a bomb right at him. It's freaking insane. The vehicles in this game are quite funnish as well. I really like the helicopter sections and the submarine sections, but there's two fatal flaws that I have a problem with the vehicles in this game. First, being the snowboarding sections. They're not all that fun, and honestly, this is a missed opportunity because snowboarding seems like it'd be something that's really fun. The issue is the control. I feel like if Bomberman is heading into a diagonal direction, he doesn't go in that diagonal direction. Sometimes he'll fly off into going completely left in a regular horizontal direction, or he could head straight forward, thus sending you off the cliff. It's very annoying. The next one is the jets, and the jets, honestly, the control's not so bad in this one, but you can't go back in this level. Seriously, whose idea was this to make it so that you couldn't go back in the levels? Bomberman could easily just scoot back just like he did with the submarine levels so that I could go back, but if you miss enough items, you're not getting that score, which is really annoying. And it kind of makes 100%ing the game really just a chore, to be honest. It's really not that fun. My favorite of these has to be the helicopter and the submarine, like I stated earlier. The helicopter being my favorite favorite because basically you fly overhead and you hit people with bombs. It's really quite satisfying to land a target on there. However, sometimes if you have horrible depth perception, it's kind of hard to hit the targets. The submarine, it's okay. I wouldn't say it's a favorite just because it's a favorite. It's okay in the sense that it's a vehicle that's at least had its time taken to actually make something decent out of it. It's kind of generic. You just kind of float in the water and then you can go back in certain levels. The submarine is really kind of slow and I don't really like it that much. All in all, the vehicles are not that fun, and the only vehicle that's that fun is the helicopter section. You only get to use it like once or twice in the game. The next is the bosses. The bosses in this game are all quite fun, including the one Nitro that keeps coming around and around the whole game. But my favorite boss has to be the helicopter boss. I love fighting this boss. He really makes use of the copter for you and makes it so that you have to have precision and skill. It can be quite a challenge, but it keeps the game doable as well. The worst boss in the game is this robot along with Nadelia or whatever her name is. But you have to actually fight these bosses in a certain time frame in order to get the score. For this boss, it's two forms. Basically, you fight the robot and then you fight her herself. The robot isn't so bad because you can just stay away from the fighting and then throw some bombs at him. But when it comes to her, oh my goodness, she throws everything in the kitchen sink to make sure you don't get that score. I hate fighting this girl so much. I don't understand the design for this boss. It's infuriating and it doesn't make the game that fun. And I shouldn't have to beat it in a certain time frame. The boss is already too hard as it is. The graphics in this game for an N64 game are quite stunning. I really like how everything looks. The environments with the colors and the enemy designs are awesome. I really enjoy looking at this game. It is so good looking and I love the way that it looks. The music and sound in this game is really good. I love the soundtrack in this game. It really sounds something like out of the future. The sounds also sound very futuristic. I love the explosions along with how Bomberman is kind of cutesy. This is a great addition to the N64 sound library. The story in this game begins with Princess Million. She stole a disc with information from the Gardarian star. After almost escaping, she leaves the plans with her robot Piebot. He finds Bomberman where they need to get through every planet to get the Gardarian star. After fighting through each boss and a bit of betrayal, Bomberman reaches the final boss where the final battle ensues. Bomberman defeats him in the game and then another planet comes into fruition. After Bomberman fights a Dark Bomber, I think that's his name, please don't roast me in the comments. After Bomberman beats him, the galaxy is once again saved, thus ending the adventure. Look, the story isn't what I thought it was before writing this review. I quite like it though, but it's a stolen story of sorts. Oh well, this game's not really about story anyway. Bomberman Hero is actually a pretty solid game. It's decently fun, but it's not really an amazing game. It's fun in some aspects, however, things like the way you 100% the game and also a couple of bosses and mechanics are a cheap way to change the things of the game. I love this game, but I really think it needs some sort of polish to make it that much better. I give the game score a 7.5 out of 10. This is a good game, but not an amazing game. The gameplay along with missing story elements are too much to call this a perfect game or even a great game. Thanks for watching, folks, and I'll see you in the next episode. Thanks for watching the first episode of Season 4. I'll see you soon.